Moving faster, at least. We're live.
So go on there and
what do you want me to do? Just 3 people on.
Well, see if you can see us. You see what I'm saying?
On this one?
Yeah. Not on that one. Oh, tell everybody on that one we had to move over to another stream.
Spring break. There we are.
Ready to find a new internet?
Sure.
Compare internet
All right.
at
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. It's a little bit of a delay, but we're good.
Just cut the volume on that one.
I did.
All right, cool. What's up, guys? Can y'all hear us all right? Just waiting for confirmation on audio, and then we can
you guys hear us?
Get started. Somebody give us a thumbs up if you
Yep.
All
I hear
right.
yeps.
Cool. So, guys, sorry for the late start. I screwed up and forgot my charger, and I had to re-download everything on a whole nother PC. And here we are. But anyway, excited to talk ball with y'all. A whole gambit of things going on. Spring game 1 week away for the Texas Longhorns. We've had, 2 scrimmages now?
Yep.
The offense
It's dominated.
has won both scrimmages.
But if you look at it, there's 4 starters from the defense that aren't playing too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, you have outside of the corners, you have your whole secondary out and their backups.
Mm-hmm.
We've had linebackers in and out. So it's been challenging. Now, it's kind of like the glass half full versus the glass half empty approach, right? Because we're excited to see. You hear about the big plays in the run game from Keontae Ingram and Jordan Whittington. We've all seen the clips online of Keontae Ingram's massive run. Jordan Whittington had a big run up the sideline a few weeks back. I think in the first scrimmage, Kirk Johnson broke a run. So our running back room is really, really starting to shape up nicely in conjunction with the offensive line.
And
so
let's not leave out the wide receivers without Colin playing. We're getting some reps for the other guys, and they're looking pretty good too. I mean, they're making plays on the ball.
Wide receiver. So I got a chance for those of y'all who don't know, I went to the A&M and Texas A&M baseball game. I think it was Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But I met Jordan Pouncey there. Really cool guy. And we had a good conversation. Just told the brother to stay healthy. I'm really proud of him. Made fun of him about the YouTube channel and him losing the game of horse. Yeah, but really, really nice guy. And we chatted up a little bit. And he was excited. He was very, very excited about his group, their room. He felt very strong about it. He was like competition level with, he talked about Malcolm Epps and some of those guys in there. So, and then to hear Tom Herman call him out by name in yesterday's press conference, Jordan Pouncey having a good scrimmage, it just goes to show all the names that you hear about, in the room and guys that have been recruited over the years. We forget that Jordan Pouncey was in that first 2017 class that we brought in. So it's just really, really cool to hear and see all those guys. Let's get to some questions. Arias Silva, what do you think of the incoming freshmen during spring practice so far? Let's start off with the big dogs. Brew McCoy, Jordan Whittington. So Brew McCoy, we've seen him flash now in a few times. He got to play in this scrimmage. He didn't really get to play in the last one because he had the shoulder issue. But we did see in the highlights he caught a couple balls over the middle, looking really physical.
A lot of deep passes.
Yeah, we saw him catch one when Sam Ellinger was mic'd up. If you saw that, Brew McCoy, they actually finished the video with Brew McCoy, the program going out of their way to feature him on social media heavily. Very excited to see him in the mix, especially with Colin taking time out. Devin Duvernay's been in and out. He played in the last scrimmage, but Brew getting those reps in there. We've seen a lot of Joshua Moore. We've seen a lot of Malcolm Epps, who's going to be another returning freshman. But I want you to talk about Jordan Whittington.
Jordan Whittington he's going to be special, and he looks like he's a legit running back. I know he was jack of all trades in what was it, Cuero?
Yeah,
right? Cuero
played every position,
and
offense and
it
defense.
should be an easy transition for him, but still hitting against high schooling kids and also hitting against college kids, it's a little bit different.
Yep.
And he's breaking off some pretty big runs that I've been seeing too. And I think just him being on campus is really helping Ingram take that next step. The competition wise, and I think him being in that is going to basically complete our running back room. I still think we need a third guy, whether it be Young or not,
or Kirk Johnson potentially if he can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to the freshman, and this actually goes to Michael's question was about the injury updates. Unfortunately, we got some bad news with DeGabriel Floyd, which also helps address
my guy
Silva's question about the freshman. Yeah. Gabriel Floyd was one of our early enrollees, somebody that we thought was going to compete right off the bat inside linebacker. And unfortunately, he has a spinal stenosis diagnosis, they said, which is like a narrowing of spine.
Yeah,
I just want to say that really resonates with me because my high school football career was cut short because of a spinal situation I had. Not stenosis, but different. It was more like in my lower back, but I couldn't. I was done. I had to have a spinal fusion with 5 rods. So it's very, very scary. From a life perspective, right?
I know, yeah.
Let alone football.
Yeah, I mean, we possibly we'll see him, put on the pads again. However, a player who's it, Jarvis Jones?
Jarvis Jones from Georgia.
Yeah, had the same exact injury, and they caught his a little bit later than DeGabriel Floyd's. DeGabriel Floyd, if he takes everything seriously, they say he will have a full recovery. And that's why they're just holding him out till next January and just seeing where he's at. But I mean, your life is more than football. I mean, look at Shazier. I mean, he's starting to do athletic movements again.
Yeah, we saw today. They posted he's doing box jumping now. So good for him and that brother's recovery. But it's gonna be a tough road for DeGabriel Floyd. I like the fact that Tom Herman alluded to, remaining locked in with the team, trying to be a cheerleader from the sideline, helping out, learning from Todd Orlando as much as you can. They still think you can come back to football. The other freshman, Darian Brown, they did provide an update on him as well. Sounds like he is in recovery. He said some speech issues still, with the brain and the nerves. It's going to take a while for everything to get firing from him. So please keep him in your prayers as he continues his recovery process. Especially at that age, imagine going through something like that. Everything in front of you at 18 years old, and then this happens, right? So with Darren Brown, I did. Tom Herman talked about Teddy Bruschi reaching out to him. That's pretty cool. And guys have recovered from having tumors and things removed, and you can make full recoveries, and they actually think that he can come back to play football one day. So please keep him in your prayers as well. But beginning, shout out to Jordan Whittington for just stepping up and the running back room, taking a hold of that mantle and being one of the bright spots of spring so far from everything we've heard. We're very excited to see those guys run on Saturday.
Especially the offense. I'm pretty much going to see. I'm looking to see probably a vanilla defense, to tell you the truth, and I think the offense should be clicking.
So, looking at just some of the comments here, a lot of people are talking about recruiting Zachary Evans. I mean, I agree. DB, he's a must get. I've said this over and over again. Him and Ringo, those two are.
If we can get them, we need to get them.
Yeah,
both of them.
Bottom line. Yeah, bottom line.
If we're going to get them.
A few other things I want to talk about. So, just in terms of staying with Texas football, what are you concerned about right now going into the spring game? Just general concerns. Defense has lost 2 scrimmages, but last year we did hear that the defense won both scrimmages and we kind of saw as the season started, the defense was a little bit ahead of the offense, but the offense eventually found their stride. So,
well, the good thing about our defensive injuries is we're getting a lot of people some good reps. So that's something that could be a blessing, because I'm not going to be worried about BJ Foster. I'm not going to be worried about Caden Stearns. I'm not going to be worried about Brandon Jones when it comes to game time, because they have enough big game experience that they'll be able to handle, I think, Louisiana Tech the first game, the speed of Louisiana Tech.
Are you not concerned about the linebackers?
I'm very concerned about the linebackers, actually. Jones, was it Caleb Jones? Is that
Caleb Johnson?
Caleb Johnson, yeah. They said that he's been playing well, and we need it. I mean, honestly, we're thin at that position, and
yeah, I mean, it's going to be Deli and Jeffrey McCulloch. And Jeffrey McCulloch, he's generated a couple turnovers, as you said, in some of the scrimmages, and he was a guy that was coming on late last season. But Deli really didn't play last year at all.
Yeah, a little bit.
And we can't live out of the our lightning last NASCAR package.
Yeah, we don't have the speed at linebacker.
Yeah, so it's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna have to find some guys, and I firmly believe, because the next period is after all the spring games happen, when some people realize that they're not going to play or whatever. There's like a second wave of transfers typically to go. So UT may be in the market, especially after the Gabriel Floyd news. I could see them being in the market of keeping an eye on any linebackers, maybe guys that are seniors that got passed up by a younger player but can still be productive in a defense.
Now, would they be allowed? Would they have to sit out a year, or would it?
If they're a grad transfer.
Okay, if they're a grad transfer.
Yeah, if they're a grad transfer, or if it's you have to work out the situation academically, but
yeah, NCAA has changed up their rules.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's getting cleared, and I expect Brew to get cleared. And I think Texas knows something, because Texas has been featuring Brew all over the place.
Yeah, if they let Tate Martell get cleared, someone got lied directly to his face. I mean, I think should be cleared. Yeah, honestly.
Somebody brought up Rashawn Johnson. That's actually something else I want to talk about. The backup quarterback situation. Last week, for those of you who don't know, Sam Ehlinger was sick. I think he got the flu or something, and he didn't even play in the first scrimmage. Casey Thompson started, and Rashawn Johnson led the backup group. So it was very valuable reps for both those guys. By the way, Tom Herman said Casey Thompson in scrimmage 2, best football he's seen play since he's been at Texas. Good. So really solidifying that backup job. He's done a really good job. You can tell from the reports we read, from the closed practices and just the throws we've seen him make to Cade Brewer and some of the other guys. He understands. He has a good understanding of the offense, having been in it, and the beauty of having our coaches come back and him, not leaving in a continuity. And also having the opportunity to learn from Sam Ehlinger. The same way Sam Ehlinger learned from Shane Buechele, right?
Essentially, yeah.
So, having that kind of mentorship there, I think has helped Casey Thompson to the point where Tom Herman said yesterday, when he was answering Chip Brown's question, if for whatever reason we have to play with Casey Thompson, I don't have any concerns. Good was his comment.
And he's a quarterback whisperer, so hopefully he's actually really prepared. And also, I really just hope that we start blowing the teams that we need to out to get him game reps too. So, I mean, it's great that he's preparing, and it's great that he's getting all these reps, but I want to see him in the game do this.
Yeah. And, like you said, if we're able to get some blowouts this year and get some guys, get up on teams, those are valuable reps for our backup quarterbacks. We had to go to our backup twice last year. And the way we use Sam Ehlinger and the way Sam Ehlinger plays,
surprised if we have to
there's going to be times. Let's just be realistic. Yes, he's obviously getting smarter and he's worked on his body as well. We've all commented on that, but things happen, right? And as a backup quarterback, that position is very, very important. You're one play away from being on the field. So, with Rashawn Johnson answering the redshirt question, I would like to see him redshirt. If we're, again, situations where a blowout with the 4-game rule, hey, he can still come in some situations and run around and just get used to game speed. But overall, I expect him to redshirt, barring catastrophe at that position. Baseball game got canceled. Oh, that's unfortunate. What else we got here?
Where are we at?
Yeah, you guys hit us with some questions. I made a video the other day for those of you who watch UT basketball. We had a lot of comments about them winning the NIT championship game against Lipscomb at Madison Square Garden. A lot of controversy over, how we as Texas fans should feel about the NIT. And, I just felt like people were really salty and super critical of them. Like the moment they won the game, it was just like, what do you
expect them to do?
Were they supposed to just lay down?
Just like, okay, we're 16-16. Let's go ahead and lose the game and be 16-17. No, I think Shaka did a great job by keeping his team motivated. Keeping that care, especially with all the publicity that he's been having about possibly UCLA, possibly
Wake Forest,
things like that. So the fact is, he won his last 4 games. And it was in a tournament style. So, be happy for it.
Vanilla Bean said 69th best team. Hey, man. For this team, for this particular team, what would have been better? Us making the first round and losing? Or I'm saying for this team. I'm not saying as a standard. Mm-hmm. But this year, what would have been more effective moving forward? Them losing in the first round, getting no confidence, or them going on this NIT run that clearly was important to them and finding themselves, because they had a lot of players on this team who did not play all season, who ended up playing big minutes in the NIT. They're young, really young. Yeah, Gerald Liddell played 28 minutes all year, and then the final game he's playing the whole second half. That's big time for him moving forward. Now the lights aren't going to be too bright. I get it. Like, we should have high expectations as a fan base, but we got to start somewhere. Yeah. Texas basketball is not a blue blood program. I said that in the video. It's not. So these unrealistic expectations, that when you watch a team grow and build properly, that's when you can really enjoy things the way like Texas Tech fans are enjoying their run right now.
Which that coach is Texas guy, by the way.
Yeah, and Chris Beard's on another level as a coach. There's no doubt about that, right? He's proven that. But let's be realistic.
Be happy that we won the JV national championship. Let's take it.
I am. Oh, okay, but I am proud of the team. I am proud of the team. Concerned with missing out on Preston Stone with a depth chart full of starters. I think another thing too, and I expect Sam to stay all 4 years. Yeah,
absolutely.
So you have to factor that in. The chances that all these guys are going to be on the roster by the time we get to Preston Stone in 2021. So much changes. I just, we'll see. Let's see. I'm reading the comments right now.
What quarterback does Sam Ehlinger remind you of as a runner?
Oh, you want to go into your Tebow thing? Remember you were talking about statistically sophomore Tim Tebow versus
they were almost equivalent.
Yeah. The difference was Tebow's rushing touchdowns were crazy.
Yes.
He had like 25 or something.
And he also had, I think, 1,000 yards rushing or something like that.
He had like 800, but he had like 25 rushing touchdowns,
which everything else was kind of equivalent when we were looking at it side to side. So
especially the passing.
I actually think he's a better passer than Tebow.
I agree.
Tell you the truth, but I also think Tebow's a better runner than him, because I think Tebow's faster, a little bit faster with the same size.
And honestly, Tebow at that point where they were, their scheme was a little bit more diverse than what Sam had to run last year. Now, with all that being said, they talked about how much we've run a lot more 21 personnel and different personnel groupings than we did all of last season. I think, again, when you have the same kids over and over again, this is now year 3, Sam Ehlinger in this offense, you can put more on his plate.
Yeah, and he should take more on his plate.
Colin Johnson, all these guys. Now it's like, all right, we can really get creative with moving guys around, what we're doing. I think that's
and I do one thing I will throw out there. I think Sam's mind for reading the defense is better than Tebow's at this time, and I think that attributes to Buechele being there, listening in and seeing the defensive formations that he's facing, because he was the one who was on the mic.
Let's see. Texas basketball was in the Final Four. That was their one Final Four year, DB, and they went to the Elite Eight twice. Once with LaMarcus Aldridge, and the other time was with DJ Augustine. And what was the other dude? Damian James. I don't know if you remember that guy.
Yeah, Damian James.
James, yeah.
The guy who was a power forward at like 6'1".
I thought that was Gary Johnson. Texas had a lot of interesting players. I mean, we have to build a real – I just think the culture – we have to build a real basketball culture here.
Thing is, we get players. I mean,
we've proven that.
We put players in the NBA. I mean, we have great players in the NBA. It's just that I guess schematically we're not very good when they're here. It's like
Jose Castro wants to know, will John cut his hair when we win the Big 12?
Nah, so
what is that?
What's his name, right?
Hager.
Yeah. No, so I'll cut my hair for Wigs for Kids, and I donate it and I save up all the money that I normally cut my hair with, and I donate it for that. So that's what But hey, if it happens to be on the Big 12 championship, sure, why not?
Good answer. Let's see.
My father and fam went there. Okay.
What's up, Cowboys? Cowboy X Factor. We haven't talked in a while. It was good, man. Texas Tech, definitely. You know what's funny? True story. If you check my ESPN bracket, and this shit is on there, but I actually picked, and again, check the bracket. I picked Texas Tech and Virginia to make it to the Final Four. Now, I did have Virginia versus Duke in the championship, with Duke beating Virginia. Obviously, I was wrong about that. But I saw what was coming with this Texas Tech team, and I saw what was coming with the Virginia Cavaliers. With all that being said, Texas Tech's riding that wave right now. Like, they just have that momentum. I think Chris Beard, Tony Bennett is an excellent coaching matchup. Two guys who their teams are going to be locked in defensively, and people think I think it's going to be a chess match. I really do. But Jarrett Culver could be the best player on the court. He wasn't particularly great in the last game, and they still won, which says a lot. But if Jarrett Culver can really get going, I definitely think Texas Tech could pull it out tomorrow night. So no, I believe in both of those teams. I have both of them in the Final Four, contrary to how other people in the country felt. I know some people were really high on Tennessee, going back to the Rick Barnes thing and all that, but I don't know.
Spring ball is on, and looking back at the sugar. Where do you see UT at the end of the year, Big 12 champ or no? I think the goal definitely needs to be, number one, win the first game.
What's the question?
He's asking, realistically, where do you see us this time, February next year?
Oh, okay. Dallas Schwartz. Appreciate the question. Okay, got you.
So I think we need to worry about game one. I'm not going to say that
game one being Louisiana Tech.
Louisiana Tech. I'm not saying that we're just going to easily win it, but
shout out to the Bulldogs.
We need to go in there, and we need to get our younger guys in there. If you know what I mean, be at least a 2-possession win, and then go on from there. If not, I mean,
all right. So my brain is spinning now. I think that's a big game for the defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the defense in particular, because I think we were just talking about what has been put on Sam Ehlinger's plate as a player and the whole offense, especially with the offensive line looking the way it is and this, the first group, because they said the second group's kind of struggling. But the first group, Herb had and them, they really like what they got going on with it, right? I think this has the potential to easily be the best Texas offense since the 2009 season. So you're looking at potentially having the best offense you've had in 10 years, right? That means you have a little bit more margin for the defense to catch up than normal, right? But if they can come out and set the tone against Louisiana Tech, knowing that, hey, our offense is going to put up points and we're going to move the football, excuse me, guys, we're going to move the football with Sam Ehlinger, right? If we can establish something and get them confident going into LSU the way they were confident going into Georgia, then we have something. But I think if we come into Louisiana Tech and they put up 31 points on us at home, that's going to be concerning, and I think that could be a signal of things to come down the stretch of the schedule where now we're having to rely on our offense to win shootouts versus really controlling the football game, if that makes sense.
No, it absolutely makes sense, and that's the thing that I'm worried about too, because Louisiana Tech is a kind of a Big 12 offensive team because they like to spread the ball out.
They have a spread offense. They have a dual threat quarterback. I think he's coming back. The brother Smith. I went to a couple Louisiana Tech football games when I was visiting my brother-in-law, but I think he's going to be a senior this year if he didn't graduate last year. But we'll have to fact check that. Somebody can chime in the comments.
But to answer your question, do you see Big 12 champ or no, New Year's Bowl, or playoffs? So I feel it should be Big 12 championship or bust.
Yes.
I mean, we were there last year.
Yes.
We were there last year, and
that's progress. You made it to the game last year, finished the job, and won the Big 12.
And
and put yourself in the conversation.
We should be in the conversation.
I don't think they're going to be right now. I don't think they're
a playoff team.
I don't think they're undefeated.
No, neither.
Okay, neither I think this is a 1 or 2 loss regular season football team, and you can still win the Big 12 outright. Yeah. Don't get it twisted. But the teams that go undefeated have crazy depth and talent on the defensive and offensive lines, like Clemson out. Like you see where they can just, even if they have a bad day everywhere else, they're just going to maul everybody up front with their defensive line. Clemson did that a lot last year. There were games where Clemson had whatever struggles. Syracuse game comes to mind. Several games where they just got, but then their defensive line could just say, all right, we're shutting this down, right? I think our defensive line is going to be really good, but I don't think we're at that level. And I think that's, that with, both of our concerns at linebacker behind it. Our front seven is a question mark.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think our defensive line is, once they get healthy, because I think big boy Keandre, I think if he gets healthy and he gets cleared to play, I think he's going to be a stud.
They've been featuring Keandre.
Yeah, I think he
looks like he's been making some plays.
I think he's going to eat up a lot of double teams, which you're going to see something in the.
I have another concern I want to address, by the way, and it came up very briefly at yesterday's presser, but I brought this up in our spring preview video, if I recall. I want to talk about the corners.
Okay.
Jalen Green, Anthony Cook, Deshaun Jameson as well. Throw in Josh Thompson, those two battling for the nickel spot. I think we're going to see a learning curve there for those guys. I don't think off break it's going to be an upgrade from last year the way some people are thinking.
I don't think it's going to be an upgrade at all.
I think, just from what I've heard, yes, they have crazy athletic ability, which is why they rank where they are, to make catch-up plays and recover quickly. And when you have speed and athleticism, you can recover on a mistake better than when you don't, right? But, Tom Herman did say they have technique issues right now. And that's stuck in my mind because I'm like, why is everyone just bypassing the corners from a Texas fan base standpoint, as if these guys played a whole bunch last year?
The only one that really played a whole bunch was Josh Thompson, and he got hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, he got hurt. But Cook,
Cook,
Anthony Cook played like a good chunk of the West Virginia game, and he started the Oklahoma State game.
Started the Georgia game, didn't he? Or did he?
Well, he played in the Georgia game and got kicked out. But like they and Jalen Green barely played.
Yeah.
He was a special teamer for all intents and purposes. Mm-hmm. So there's like they're not going to come in. I don't think they're going to come in ready to rock, even with all the reps they're getting this spring. I expect there to be growing pains. Now, throughout the season, I think it's going to be one of those situations where, like later in Big 12 play, they're playing better or they're learning, but they're going to get burned a couple times. Like, let's just be real. There's going to be some situations, which is why the health of Brandon Jones and Caden Stearns is so important.
Yeah.
Helping them, communicating with them, trying to cheat over sometimes, baiting throws of quarterbacks. Our safeties, we're asking our safeties to not only cover up some of the linebacker stuff, but also cover up, I think, the corner stuff.
And I mean, that also goes into defensive scheming as well. We need to get pressure on the quarterback to give that.
Kobe Boyce is another one somebody brought that brother's name up too.
But we need to get pressure on the quarterback to make him rush throws or give the defensive backs time to get coverage on them and stay on them as well. And at the same time too, I think one of our listeners came up with the thought of, hey, why don't we press more often? Maybe we might start putting that in there.
Yeah, and I think that's where you coach, to your point, you coach to your skill set of your players. Mm-hmm. And if they have the ability to just run on people in the back of people's hips and play that way, fine. But the thing is, you can't press every play in the Big 12.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to mix it up.
But I could see that against LSU.
Potentially.
They're not
potentially. Yeah. Although they've been talking about in their spring. I don't know if you kept up with them. They said they've been running up tempo. They're doing all this cool stuff with Joe Burrow.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going off of what they say they're doing. They said they've been flying around in practice offensively. Never seen an LSU offense with the tempo they have this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So
we'll see. I mean. We got that on our calendar.
Aaron Porter, great question. Are y'all going to the Orange and White scrimmage?
Yes.
We will be there. Are your kids going? No? So, okay. So me, you, some of our buddies. Yeah. So we'll be there. We'll love to hit, we'll probably just be moving around, to be honest. I don't know if we're going to start off in like a desert. Maybe we can announce that later in the week.
Yeah. We can find out where we're going to be.
Yeah. We'll start off at like a designated location. Just if you guys want to say hey or chat just amongst fellow fans, because it's going to be exciting, and it's later in the evening, right, under the lights. 6:30. Yeah, so it's going to be great atmosphere. Let me cut this damn phone off. Hold on, keeps texting me.
Was the one who just asked that question?
Aaron Porter.
Okay, gotcha.
We haven't heard on Brew is not official yet.
Yeah, not official. But
trust me, everybody in the world's gonna know. But I think, like, to an earlier point I made about how they've been featuring him on the what do you call it, on the Texas football Twitter page, because they've been doing this whole promotion with like so and so the future, and then
it shows like a quick clip.
They had a full promo with Brew for the spring game. I don't think you do that if you're not 99% sure the player is going to get cleared.
I mean, Tom Herman came forward and said, he goes, yeah, well, that we're hearing nothing but good news about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they have some inside info on it, and it'll be announced shortly after. I wouldn't be surprised I'd be shocked, honestly, if they shut him down. I mean, with all the information that they have of his recruitment through USC, I think it should be an easy decision.
I'm gonna answer Aaron's question, then we'll get to Preston because I do want to talk Cowboys. Subscriber goal again: 5,000 subscribers by September 7th, which is Texas LSU. We're right at 3,400, I believe, or shade under 3,400. So you guys do the math. what, only 1,600 more people?
Yeah.
Yeah, only 1,600 more people. And as we continue to grow, that's why I asked about the social media platforms. If y'all can follow us on there, I try to make all the links as accessible as possible on the Fanatic Perspective YouTube page, but just getting the brand out there and growing the name. As we get closer and closer to the season, I know excitement will pick up, and more and more people can join our community and talk ball with us. But really excited for our goal, and thank you for asking, Aaron. Preston, DeMarcus Lawrence, I'm so happy that brother got his bread. $65 million guaranteed, 5-year, $100 million deal total.
Deserved it.
Yeah, I thought it was deserved. And I thought that was the number. The Cowboys said they were willing to go to $20 million a year for him, but had to be on their terms, because his whole thing was he wanted like Von Miller plus whatever the multiplier, the difference of the cap was. Okay. And it was like, okay, let's be realistic here.
You're not Von Miller.
Right. I mean, but you've been very, very productive. You've done a tremendous job being consistent over the last 2 years. Now, hey, let's go get that shoulder cleaned up. Because he's going to have shoulder surgery. He can go ahead and do that now. And he's a family man. There was some off-field concerns with DeMarcus Lawrence early on where he was getting in trouble and stuff. But, with the acquisition of Robert Quinn, and I still have to do my Cowboys free agency video. It's just, been busy and stuff. But we're going to get to that content too. But with the acquisition of Robert Quinn, you sign an underrated signing in Christian Covington, DeMarcus Lawrence on one end, and then I just talked about the shoulder surgery. Like that's a great front that the Cowboys now have.
Yeah.
Up front.
Hopefully Taco can make that next step.
Dude, Taco, time is up. Time. Hashtag time's up, Taco.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on. Is his third year?
His third year.
I mean, yeah, he should be stepping up.
The brother was a first-round pick. Now, granted, they had a second-round grant on him. That's neither here nor there. Whether you were second, third, first-round pick.
Still drafted.
Yeah.
First round.
Yeah,
you need to produce something.
It's time to produce. And realistically, he got passed last year by Randy Gregory. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. At first, they were kind of going in between, and Tyrone Crawford was playing the early downs. But if we're kicking Tyrone Crawford back inside, Taco, where are you, buddy? We need you. You got to step up, get your body right, get your attitude right, come into camp and dominate. Yeah. Because he's at a crossroads for his football career. There's no excuses. Because on the other side, if not, then you're going to see people like a guy like a Dorrance Armstrong.
Rookie contract is 3 years, right?
4.
Is it 4? Okay.
Yeah, 4.
So then you need to start producing these next 2 years to get paid, man.
Nah, he's got to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Taco's had some good moments. I agree, but it's been few and far between. And that's one of the frustrations is that what he's capable of. I think he could be a very good technician. He's not a speed guy, but he's long. I think he's really good with his hands when he wants to be, and he's really good at disengaging, and he can play the run very well and string stuff out. But we've got to see that all the way across the board for Taco Charlton.
Step up and take a pay cut.
For the Cowboys, though, I want to say this for the Cowboys. They got to figure out the backup running back thing.
Yep.
That's high on the chart right now. To the point where I don't know just off the top of my head at 58 what you do, because they're picking at 58. They obviously don't have their first round pick. And that is now because they've addressed the wide receiver position at 58. I think you could look at potentially going either offensive tackle or running back. Because they did sign George Iocca for.
I think this this running back class you can get one in like the fourth or fifth round that can produce right behind Zeke. So I mean, we need to shore up that offensive line because something wrong is happening with that.
Joey S said Elijah Holyfield, brother. He ran like a 5'8".
I'd rather draft like one of the linebackers.
No disrespect, man. But I do look at the 40 time. Hey, I think
Montgomery's going to
David Montgomery.
I think he's going to be gone before the 4th.
I think David Montgomery's going to be gone before the 4th too.
But yeah, I could see Hill. You're talking about Hill from Ohio State. Oklahoma State. Sorry, yeah.
I'm gonna say a guy that people aren't gonna like, but I'm gonna say him anyway. I think Travion Williams from A&M. I think he fits. I think he could complement Zeke very well with his skill set. He's a different type of running back because right now with the whole Rod Smith thing, they haven't decided to resign Rod Smith because I saw an article today where they were talking about, well, should we bring him back? But the drop off,
it's noticeable.
It's noticeable. I'm trying to have this whole what the Saints used to have before. Obviously, Mark Ingram went and signed with the Baltimore Ravens. But with Ingram and Kamara, they drafted Kamara in the 3rd round, and trying to find a player like that who can complement and is just explosive, I think is really, really.
So there's one question that I saw up here.
Sure.
From Lamar Stevens, between the D line and O line, which unit will have the advantage during the spring game? So it's going to be both, honestly, because it's going to be a lot of 1s versus 2s.
Yeah,
and from what I hear, the second unit of the D line is not very good. First unit of our offensive line is very good. So I think we're going to dominate that. And
I think
it's the same way.
I think people from what we've been saying, I think people are going to be really, really, really impressed with our offensive line, especially inside zone, run blocking. I think people are really going to like what they're going to see Saturday with the offensive line. But I don't think it's going to be to the point where we're going to come out of the game saying our defensive line sucks. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, I think there's going to be some plays to be made there.
You got to take it with the
bruh. Adam Byers, you had to bring it up. What's good with your boy Holton Hill, man? Bruh,
hey man, he might be honest. He might be an honest guy. Just to let everyone know. Failing PED tests. I don't know, man. It's his life.
Sucks,
honestly, man. He has the winning lotto ticket, to tell you the truth, and he's not cashing it in just by staying clean. It's his fault. You can't blame anyone but him. So it's bothering me because he has. They even put up a stat that he was the number 2.
Yeah, he was top 5 in
something like that.
He was top. I know.
Against targets.
Pro Football Focus put that out there. Yeah,
and he's losing a lot of money. So that's on him.
10-cent hit. You would think you have a whole new understanding in life going into the league after losing the money he lost. And
he was being projected as a 1st through 3rd round draft pick.
Yeah, they didn't even make it through third year.
Yeah.
They got suspended by 2 different coaching staffs. Some people, just frustrating. LJ Humphrey, he's definitely had a lot of visits. With him, he's gonna go low. Matt Miller, I think it was, if you guys follow him on Twitter, he was talking about LJ the other day, and he's saying, look, I like him as a football player, but he can't fix his speed and he can't fix his, just a lack of some of the athleticism that some of the other guys have, and it's going to cost him. But when he gets into a camp, I'll put it this way, he might go 6th or 7th round. Just being real, all right. And some people
also got 6th round, Antonio Brown, but Antonio Brown is fast though.
Yeah. but my point is this: he's gonna be a guy who 2nd, 3rd week of preseason, everyone's gonna be like, "Who's that? Who's this guy catching it? Who's this guy breaking all these tackles like he's a football player?"
Yeah.
And so, this is what it is. I also think, again, not taking shots at LJ, but I think you're going to see some of the upside of that in our offense, especially when Jake Smith gets on campus.
Yeah. And
we haven't even talked about all the other guys we're seeing right now making plays downfield. Look at all the balls Malcolm Epps is catching downfield.
Yeah.
Deep down, like deep passes. Brew McCoy, deep passes.
If we could just hit Devin Duvernay on one of those.
Right. But, I think, it's one of those things, too, where they'll be able to open up. Gary Johnson is actually a guy who will get drafted higher than people think.
Yeah.
Because the way teams are down on LJ, I think he Gary Johnson. He's a guy that's starting to creep up there. He's a modern day NFL linebacker for what they want to do. You know, even if his coverage stuff never pans out, he's still a threat as a blitzer. He's an incredible blitzer.
I can see him on KC team.
Yeah,
getting like a 4th round pick for him. I can see him because I know Kansas City, if they're doing anything but drafting defense, that GM should be fired.
Lamar Stevens, who's going to lead Texas in sacks? I'll answer and then I'll let John answer. We'll see if we have the same answer. Joseph Osai.
I'm going to go BJ Foster.
Leading the team in sacks.
I'm going to say leading the team in sacks.
Is that a good?
Is
that good?
I'm going to say it's going to be. It's not good at all. But I'm going to say him because I don't know. I think they found something with him on him blitzing at different angles. Yeah, and his speed. I could see a 5.5 sack.
If our safety with 5.5 sacks is leading our team in sacks, we failed.
Yeah, we're not going to. It's not going to be pretty. I just don't see anyone. Oh,
Malcolm
Roach.
Malcolm's got to wake up.
Malcolm Roach.
I already called him out, so I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah.
Other people have started calling out Malcolm, and to his credit, Tom Herman said Malcolm's been the lone senior there who's taken on leadership, and he's been holding down the fort. Was his quote?
While Brandon Jones,
while all those other guys are out, because you can only lead so much if you're not practicing. It is what it is. But Malcolm's been there. Malcolm's healthy. Remember, Malcolm was hurt last year. The other thing is they did. LHN did a special on Malcolm Roach. LHN did a special on Malcolm Roach. I think it was last week, and he admitted himself that he has struggled significantly when he gets around the quarterback making plays. And he's like, "That is the number one thing in my game I got to fix. It's too many guys." He's like, "Look,
it's a paycheck year for him."
Yeah, and he's well aware of it. He talked a lot about, it was actually a really good interview. Y'all should check that out.
Would you draft Charles and cut Taco? Charles Omenihu, I'm assuming?
Well, we're not going to cut Taco yet. That wouldn't be financially smart. They did bring in Charles Omenihu for a visit. Yes. So he is there. I don't think that Charles thing's realistic, though, after the Robert Quinn trade. Bringing in Robert Quinn. The Cowboys have actually doubled down on Randy Gregory, which tells you how they feel about the rules. And we still have Dorrance Armstrong Jr. that we drafted from Kansas last year as well. So, I mean, that room, and then re-signing DeMarcus Lawrence, that room with the defensive ends is actually pretty stacked. I don't think we go that direction early in the draft.
Trade Taco for a 7th.
Trade Taco for a 7th. Preston is out on Taco. Preston is all the way out on Taco. You don't want to give him one more chance? We gotta Preston. We gotta give him one more chance. He was a 1st-round pick.
We've invested too much money.
DeMarcus Lawrence, to Eric's point, it took him a while to get going.
Washing machine.
Preston's a fool. I want to address what Sanif said. Texas needs to start recruiting elite interior defensive line and edge players if they want to win the national title. Sanif, first of all, thank you for chiming in. Appreciate the comment. That's why I said they're not going to go undefeated. Right? That's why I made the clip.
Keandre is an elite interior lineman,
but that's one guy.
There's one guy.
You look at guys. Let's look at the teams that made the playoffs last year, right? Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Clemson, Alabama.
The only one that didn't have really a strong defensive line is Oklahoma.
Yeah, but their offensive line was everybody getting drafted, right? Notre Dame, very strong defensive line.
Very strong defense.
They got guys getting picked. Clemson, the whole freaking defensive front, and on top of that, they have dudes waiting in the wings.
They've built that pipeline.
Alabama, they send what's the brother that went to the Redskins? Jonathan Allen. They have Deshaun Hand go to the league, and then they have this dude Quentin Williams sitting behind him,
who's probably
that's where Texas has to get to at some point if you want to compete with those schools on a year in, year out basis. That's the highest level. And the common denominator with those teams, to Sanif's point, is the defensive line.
Yep.
It is.
And if I do think that it will start coming too. If we win this year and we win the Big 12 title and we're in the conversation for the playoffs, I think we can start recruiting those types of players. It's just I don't know what it is, but we haven't really been able to get, especially an edgy guy, really.
Clayton said, I wanted Dallas to get Earl so bad. Me too.
Me too. I think everyone in Texas did.
I think they were having realistic conversations with Earl. Earl, rightfully so, wanted to get
big time money.
He had an idea of a range of a number in his head. I'm gonna tell you what messed them up though, was the damn Redskins paying Landon Collins $84 million. Mm-hmm. What did Earl and his teams do? Like, see? That money is out. If Landon Collins, box safety, can get $84 million, why can't I get
safety in the league?
Right. Yeah. Why can't I get what I want? Why can't I get 15 a year? And so
he went out and got it.
Mm-hmm. So realistically,
we weren't going to pay that for him. With two broken
legs. I could see Dallas. Look, and here's the thing: Xavier Woods did play better at the end of the season. George Iloka is going to compete with Jeff Heath for the strong safety spot. I think that is potentially an upgrade already that you have on the roster now. I think they now go and draft another safety to potentially go back there. That could be another position they look at 58 because Xavier Woods was a 6th-round pick out of Louisiana Tech, and he's played well. I thought he actually played okay in the playoffs. But
I do not think that Whittington will take those starting running backs off.
Sanif Prince Dorba, I think, is going to be at the spring game on Saturday.
Yes, Dorba is a priority. I think he was dominant. He's dominated.
For those of you who don't know, that's the brother out of Highland Park.
Yeah, he's dominated.
MVP of the state championship. He dominated 5A playoffs in Texas.
His body looks like he could put on about 30 pounds without losing any speed. I expect them to use 21 person. Yeah.
Will McClay and Christian Shard are key. Yeah, well, Christian Shard, he's in their ear in the draft room for the Cowboys. Have you noticed that Herman has been a bit more active on Twitter lately? Is that a good thing or not? I think it's just keeping up with the Joneses areas. I shared a video with you about Les Miles at Kansas where he was calling Rick Ross and all these ridiculous. And look, the thing is in society today where we're at and the personality. I think the authenticity behind it is if your coach has that personality. Like if Nick Saban just popped up on Twitter one day and started doing stuff, that would seem fake to me.
Yeah, it absolutely would seem fake. Or if he was talking to her. But Tom Herman, he had a grill made because his team won.
Yeah,
he's a player's coach.
He's a player's coach. He's a younger coach.
He wants to be the cool guy, in the room. And Les Miles, he was definitely a player's coach over in LSU. Everyone loved him there. They didn't want to fire him for the longest time. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't disingenuous to me that he was on the phone with Rick Ross, but he's trying to sell Kansas.
It was a good little bit. Yeah, it was a good bit that they had. But overall, I mean,
has Texas been doing a good job of recruiting Houston? Yes.
Yeah.
Texas.
Yeah. DB answered that question. Yeah. We've done a phenomenal job in Houston. The key for us is Dallas Fort Worth, which we're getting good strides in, starting with those Duncanville guys, and we've talked about that a lot in previous videos. Clayton linebacker for me as well, but I'm just as concerned about the corners, Clayton. I am concerned about the corners. I don't think that's being talked about enough. I think everybody's just assuming that those guys are going to come in there and rock and roll, and maybe we've underappreciated Chris Boyd and Devontae Davis to some degree. Yeah, we have horses there, but they got to grow up. They're gonna have to see you know, that first deep ball that somebody tries you with,
grow up fast.
you know, especially
if you're burnt, you better tackle them. Like you better, like
and
if
you
you're
have
burnt,
to
I would
honestly,
rather.
you're gonna get burned in our conference.
Yeah, but I don't want to
It's-
see. I don't want to see them catch it. I don't want to see them catch a 60-yard bomb, and when they could just trip them up. And I would rather take the 15-yard.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, like,
or guys catching button hooks and
Yes.
taking it 70
Yes.
yards. I got you. Like still being aggressive, putting your head down, tackling. I thought Anthony Cook did a really good job of tackling last year.
Mhm.
Again, we haven't seen a whole lot of Jalen Green, but you know, that's within his skill set. We do have even some more horses coming in the spring, in the summer. Kenyatta Watson coming in as well as
Georgia. He's the Georgia guy.
Georgia guy who's another big corner. He's like 6'2".
Who was the one from
Kobe Boyce is there as well,
California?
competing with them.
Isn't there one from California that's coming in?
He's a safety.
Safety,
Adamora,
okay.
Chris
Oh,
Adamora.
yeah,
Yeah,
Adamora,
he's
yeah.
a safety. But still, like you know, I personally think they're gonna, you know, it's gonna have to be a baptism process. Like it just is what it is. But everybody in the Big 12 has to go through it from the cornerback position. You know, the thing is, you can mitigate some of that with your safeties, though.
I think we're gonna be playing a lot of zone for the first couple of weeks, honestly.
Aggressive, man. Well, I agree. I think he's gonna have to play good press man defense.
What do you think about Texas football if David Ash stayed healthy? I think David Ash would have been a good quarterback, honestly. I think if he stayed healthy, I think our team I don't think we would have been a national champion winner. Don't get that out of the question, but I think we would have been a 10 win. He would have at least had one season where he won 10 wins, at least.
I think it changes a lot, the David Ash thing. Does that affect Mac Brown? Potentially. Because if you remember, he missed a lot of games. We ended up realizing Case McCoy was really a backup quarterback who could do some things like beat A&M.
Yeah.
But he could do some things in spots, but he wasn't a starter in the Big 12, right? Stop laughing. I'm trying to get to the I brought up Case McCoy and just started losing. But my thing is, with David Ash, I think it affected two coaching staffs because Mac Brown, you know, they were, you know, say what you want. They were still playing against that Baylor game. They were still playing for the conference title with Case McCoy and his noodle arm. And then
that had nothing to do with our defense at all.
I remember the defense was cranking. Steve Edmond and those guys.
Jordan Hicks.
They were cranking.
And wasn't
Quandre was there?
Yeah,
they were cranking. But going back to the following season, Charlie Strong's first game. A lot of people don't remember this. We played North Texas, and David Ash was actually doing a good job. I remember from the spring all the way through. The problem was the depth at quarterback because we had Swoops and Dry Hurt wasn't ready to play. No. Right? But Sean Watson came in and styled straight pro style offense, what they were doing at Louisville with Teddy Bridgewater. That was actually not a bad offense for David Ash.
No, not at all.
The problem is that first North Texas game, and Charlie Strong said this at his last press conference, was like, I had to start off my career losing my starting quarterback and my starting center, Dominic Espinosa. That was the last football game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He blew out his knee, right?
That was the last football game.
For
both
Ash.
of those for Ash and Dominic Espinosa.
Yeah.
And the shit hit the fan after that. Because remember, we had Doyle go in. I think it was Peter Doyle, and Tyrone Swoops takes over. And we had the whole BYU fiasco, and the season falls apart, right? That alone, I think that team, because that defense was actually pretty good the first year with Jordan Hicks and Michael Thompson, all those guys. I think they probably go 8-5 in 2014 versus winning. I think they win maybe 2 or 3 more games, maybe 9 games, and that changes everything. But that's football, right? You know,
injuries happen, and you know, I think if you let him grow up within the system and let him get proper reps, kind of like what I was saying with Ellinger, that he's going to be a very good quarterback. And I saw all the tools there, and he just unfortunately wasn't.
JT Barrett, yes, that's fact.
Yep.
That was just a missed evaluation as well, in my opinion. So it's it is what it is at this point. We'll go for a few more minutes here, guys. We still have 40-something people in the chat here, which is awesome. Ellinger greater than JT Barrett. Well, they're playing in the same offense. Oh, did you guys see the controversy with Cardell Jones, aka 12 Gauge, and JT Barrett coming on to practice, visiting Tim Beck and Tom Herman? They're wearing some Texas gear.
You and I
Ohio
were texting
State.
Back. You and I were texting back and forth about it. If we saw Vince at
and so pose that question to them.
Okay, so if you guys saw Vince at North Carolina with Mac Brown wearing a Tar Heels hat, would you guys be mad?
Me personally, I'll answer your question. Me personally, I love Mac, and knowing the relationship that Vince and Mac have, I would not have an issue with it because I know Vince is trying to help him out, build his program. As long as it's not one of our rivals,
yeah.
If
it was OU or
A&M or anything like that. But if he's going to North Carolina, we don't have much to do with them. We're not even recruiting against them for the most part. I don't have a problem with him rocking some gear on campus and telling recruits, hey, this would be a good place for you guys to come, especially guys that are there at practice. Because every day at practice, we have guys visiting in and out, unofficials and whatnot. I think, yes, for Cardell Jones and JT Barrett, also understanding the credibility that they have, the success they have, they're national champions. Tom Herman is a national champion. Helping bridge that credibility to the players is big. We saw your boy Jimbo try to do it with Jalen Ramsey, and it backfired.
Oh, yeah.
If y'all remember that. But
Jalen Ramsey went off on him and be like, I don't want anyone using my picture for someone who never taught me one defensive technique. And they were all using his picture when he was over in A&M.
But y'all let us know. It sounds like I feel like a lot of people want Mac to do well in his last stint, and I wouldn't be pissed at Vince or anything.
No, not at all.
No problem, man. Happy to answer these questions. Texas can definitely lose to OU this year, but again, that brother Kyler Murray is not there anymore.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, and I think people are underselling what Lincoln Riley can potentially do with Jalen Hurts, and I think their offense is going to look different than what it's been. Also, they've reloaded at wide receiver, by the way, for those of you who don't know. They have some some bodies. But it's OU.
And CeeDee Lamb's still there. So
and CeeDee Lamb's still there. Possession receiver. So you have all those guys.
Jesus Christ.
So
what did he average in the Big 12 championship? Like 37 yards a catch.
Like possession wide receiver.
Possession wide receiver.
So
Jesus.
With all that being said, though, I think it's a different ball game with Jalen Hurts. I think if you're Todd Orlando, you're not losing as much sleep at night with a Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray. He's not going to, as much as Lincoln Riley can do for him, he's not going to run around and flick the ball 80 yards over my head to Hollywood Brown.
You got to think of it this way. Kyler Murray is probably maybe the most dynamic quarterback college football has ever seen, honestly, because he could throw the ball and he could run the ball very fast. Baker Mayfield was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football history.
Absolutely.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is anywhere near as
forget
close.
the completion percentage. Just eye test.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. If you compare his throwing style to Jalen Hurts, You're gonna take Baker
There's a
Mayfield's
reason why
100
he was the
out of
number
100
one pick,
times. Yeah.
and then he goes to the NFL and
Yeah.
sets the rookie record for touchdown passes.
Yeah, exactly. So
Like-
I mean, I'm not worried he's gonna step in right away and just he's
Right.
gonna be
Jalen
another
Hurts, yeah.
Baker Mayfield or
Yeah.
what's up, Cowboys, Longhorns?
I missed him today. What's going on, man? Thanks for stopping in and saying what's up.
Also, Sam Elliott.
Kirk Johnson got injured. Is that factual?
He's injured again?
I thought he was fine.
I thought he was playing, and he was playing pretty well.
Somebody confirm or deny that. Oh, he has a stinger? Okay.
Oh, okay. If it's a stinger, it's fine. Yeah, stinger. He's fine now. He should be.
Okay. I thought it was something with
his knee again.
Yeah, that's when I hear injury with him. I worry about the legs. Stingers with running backs, and that's especially spring practice. You're going to have stuff like that. Appreciate you guys confirming that.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got here? AAF. We didn't talk about AAF, guys. And
I'll let you handle that because Jesus.
Listen, in all seriousness, it's a damn shame with those owners and the people running the league. So many of them should be ashamed of themselves for the way they've handled those players. The guys, having their coming back to the hotel and their things are in the lobby. They've been checked out of their rooms. Guys who have medical issues left pending. And the credible names or the once credible names that you had involved with this operation. And look, we talked about it earlier on this channel about the AAF, and then seeing guys that we've seen before in college, and it wasn't a bad product.
No, it wasn't.
The product itself,
I liked it.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I can see all these guys who were either at the bottom end of the roster. There's one last chance for them to get the reps that they clearly are not getting in an NFL practice scenario because there's only so much time. There's only so many snaps to go around. But they're getting it here. There's real coaching. You had Steve Spurrier, Mike Singletary, a lot of these guys involved in this operation. And to see just it fall apart, it's like the Fire Festival of sports right now. It's like to cease all business operations. And you know your boy Vince McMahon is on the side just laughing his ass off. This is dream scenario for him.
Perfect for him.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, guys, I mean, just what does Bill Polian have to say for himself? And the people that were involved in this organization. It's just, I don't know. I wanted to go on my AAF rant, but you can.
It's just laughable to me, and I just feel bad for the players themselves because they worked hard, and you can tell that they were working. They're trying to work for a job, and like you said, they just cut you just like that without any.
No, the jig was up when they couldn't make the payroll the first week, and then it got sold to I think the Carolina Hurricanes owner bought them for like $250 million, something like that. And like when you have those type of payroll, when those stories start to leak, it's just, my goodness.
So someone just said, DB said that Evans is at Texas right now.
For visiting?
I guess so. I don't know. That's all I saw.
Well, if that's the case, good stuff.
I know his mom works at an airline, and he can fly wherever he wants, and that's why he's opened up to any school.
My expectation for this team is just going to answer whatever the question was. Expectation for this team is to win the Big 12 and be in the mix for college football playoffs. I don't know how realistic it is just with our lines and what we have up front. Just looking at this team, there are weaknesses. We do have holes that we need to fill. We are not a perfect roster.
I think offensively we'll be very strong. But
the thing is, when you have a good quarterback, a potentially great quarterback, and that's the question we got to ask ourselves. I think Sam Ehlinger last year showed us he was a very good quarterback last year, especially taking care of the football statistically and the offense. My question now is, can he be a great quarterback? When I say great quarterback, I'm talking about Heisman caliber quarterback that covers up the holes on your team and just can carry the team. That to me is the difference between us just contending for the Big 12 and us going to the playoffs, in my opinion. You guys chime in there too, because I believe Sam can make that leap.
I don't think he's very far off from it, to tell you the truth. I mean, because the only bad games that we saw from him last year were the games he was obviously injured in. The Kansas game, he threw passes. You and I were like, what was he looking at? And it attributed to his shoulder. Same thing with the Oklahoma game, and he didn't even have a terrible game in the Big 12 game, but he missed a lot of passes that were easy to make,
and we couldn't do our QB power stuff the way we did it. Like you saw the Georgia game when he was healthy, against a great Georgia front. Even though the SEC people will tell you that Georgia didn't want to be there.
And he's going to have a strong offensive line. Hopefully they stay healthy,
All right, guys. We'll go a couple more minutes and then we'll.
Trevor Lawrence will be, Clemson's going to be.
Did anybody watch the Clemson spring game this weekend? How'd they look? I didn't see it.
I didn't watch it.
Y'all let me know how they look. I didn't see any of the Clemson spring game. But those are programs right now. You guys want to know what great looks like. DB, well, how they look? Clemson. Johnson and DB.
I'm probably beasts like normal. Just like, they're probably good.
I mean, they have what's the brother's name? Justin Ross and those wide receivers they have, and Trevor Lawrence with another Travis Etienne's back, and I mean, just offensively, my goodness.
Johnson, DD returning, Parker Braun, absolute mauler, run game.
Parker Braun, we have to see what his situation's going to be, because the more I hear about him, the more it sounds like he might redshirt.
You think so?
They talk about him getting up to speed pass pro because he played in the triple option.
Yeah,
and he's like 280. I think it depends with his weight and just how quickly you can get up to speed with her van. I also think Denzel Okafor may have something to say about it because they moved him inside and he's looked pretty good from what I've seen and heard. I think he's really trying to push for a spot at guard, which is what I want to see. I want to see guys stepping up. Yeah, because he played competition. Yeah, people forgot he played outside. Derek Gibson, we were talking about the corners earlier, brother. I don't know if you saw, but corner is actually my biggest linebacker. Corners and linebacker are my biggest concerns. Corner, I think, is something we really gotta pay attention to. Those guys it's going to be a baptism under fire for those young men. Very, very talented. Very, very talented. All the talent in the world. But that's a position where it's just like, reps and snaps and getting fooled by certain routes and things. And, the smart coaches we have in our conference will look to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. I think we hold off speculation about him redshirting. Wow. Okay. That's what you just said.
Thanks for joining, Derek. Thank you. Tope. Yeah, Tope, man, his body. They talk about his body, 14% body fat at his weight, Tope Amade. Just having guys like that on the roster, that's the first step to getting
Angular too.
He
looks like he's just a mean guy.
I mean, he might be Patrick Vahe 2.0. So, we have to see what he's able to come up with. Yeah, 340, 14% body fat.
Jeez, man, that's a big boy.
There was something else I wanted to touch on with y'all talking about having a little bit of this nostalgia right now with the 2005 Longhorns and whatnot.
Can't compare it to this.
I've seen some videos on YouTube with certain individuals talking about, them expecting Texas to take a step back because of the production we've lost defensively, and we've lost. I think they said 6 of our top 10 tacklers and all that type of stuff. Look, anytime a team makes a run, you're always going to lose. There's always some sort of drop off in terms of players that have left. The key is the unknown. In 2005, when we won the national championship, did you know Jamal Charles was going to be our starting running back? Nobody did.
I thought Selvin was our starter.
It was like a Selvin. I'm talking about in terms of like
that
who has the most carries.
so much reps. Yeah.
Like there's gonna be people that step up. Like think about it. The year Jamal Charles, Selvin Young, and Ramon Taylor. Ramon Taylor were like the 3 heads with Vince, right? Mm-hmm. The year before was Cedric Benson.
Yep, Cedric.
Who went on to be the 4th pick in the draft, came off of 1,800 yards rushing, ran for 1,000 every year. Any Texas person at that time would have told you there was going to be a drop off at running back, right? But we still won the national championship with other guys
by committee
that weren't as proven. Now, Selvin Young was coming off of knee surgeries and all that type of stuff, but guys that weren't as proven that ended up stepping up and being great. Same thing with Derek Johnson. When he left Texas the year before, I think, because he was in the 04 draft, because he was in the same draft with DeMarcus Ware. He was either 04 or 05 draft. But the next year we won the national championship after Derek Johnson, right? Like, he was one of the all-time great linebackers at Texas. So just because we lost, yes, we lost to Charles Omenihu, Gary Johnson, got those corners, but sometimes I've talked about concerns right now because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but
sometimes you're going to get an improvement. So.
And you're going to see improvement throughout the year too, as well. So I mean, you may see rustiness or just inexperience the first couple of weeks, but that's where coaching comes into as well. So you want to see the improvement game by game, and hopefully they're pretty improved by week 2, because I really want to see a good game, because I think we're a 13-point underdog against LSU right now on paper.
Really?
I think that's what I saw.
Really?
I think it was a double digit, and we were a double-digit underdog against OU too.
I haven't paid any attention to the spread on the LSU game.
7-point underdog. I saw 17-point underdog against OU. Yeah. Okay, so maybe it was OU that we were the double digits.
Yeah, that spread's gonna. You said it's 7 right now, but. Now, the thing is, we don't open with LSU. So that spread's even going to change after what happens in week 1. Mm-hmm. So if we come out and look good, or if we come out and we look like we did when we played Tulsa this year, where it was like 28-21 or something like that, then remember we didn't get the love for the USC game.
Oh, yeah. I think we were a 1.5-point favorite in that game, and I think we smoked them.
Mm-hmm. So. But yeah, my whole point is like any year, like at some point when you make the leap as a staff, as a program, it's always going to be next man up every year. The thing is, if you have the right blend of returning players and talent to overcome the players that have gone to the NFL, you can really make a run.
We do have talent on this roster. I mean, they got to play up to their potential.
They got to play up to it. I agree.
We'll
go to 120. We'll go to 120, and then we'll shut it down. Any other questions before we or we can go. You want to go another 10 minutes?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we still have 45 people in here.
Sure. Third best recruiting and 17-point dog to LSU common. Texas did beat LSU. Yeah, we beat LSU in the Cotton Bowl. Roy Williams ran all over him. I remember saying that.
Oh, I'll have to retweet it on Twitter.
What happened?
CB. If you're a Texas fan, you have to follow Chris Bennett.
Chris Bennett,
yeah. But he had posted something a few months back from Roy Williams. He just he did something so amazing in that LSU game. It was like his release. So
that was my brother's last game at Texas, and I went to it. And I remember seeing him run into the cornerback after getting just a swing screen. The cornerback fell backwards, and he stopped there for a second and just looked at him, and then took off running. And that's when I was just like, this guy's just a freak to his size. What's your thought on Sean McVay? It's great. I mean, you know, Tom Herman picked his mind a little bit, and he's a great offensive mind. And
Marvin Lewis was here too, right?
Yeah, Marvin Lewis and also Bill Belichick last year. So I mean, I think he's doing the smart thing and getting the right coaches there.
Yeah, Sean McVay, especially, he's the flavor of the month right now for good reason. Just coming off the Super Bowl, and you know, Tom Herman talked about some of the concepts, you know, that they've been, you know, just mind sharing, right? And it's also stuff you plug in with your analysts now. We've talked a lot about our analysts. I think we've had more conversation about analysts this offseason than I can ever remember. But that's the level Texas is getting to, just in terms of mind share and trying to get ahead schematically, not just relying on the talent.
Yeah.
You know, but scheming guys open, you know, and I think, again, with them talking about how much more diverse the offense has been, the way they talk about using Jordan Whittington, hey, he's a weapon. He's not just a running back. We will use him in the slot. We will try to isolate him in certain situations where he will motion out to wide receiver. If he gets a linebacker on him, good luck.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I
just
hope so.
trying to generate matchup.
It's kind of like he's a bigger version of who's the guy from TCU that got in trouble who always get Turpin.
He used to murder us.
Yeah, he used to murder us, but he's going to be a bigger version of him. That if we get him on a linebacker, I said when we got Kamara, that's what I see potentially for Jordan Whittington. We're able to pick up Beatty still something this year in the Kansas contract thing. Yeah, he's still working on that contract. I think a lawsuit is pending.
Did y'all see the Auburn fan? Curtis Samuel's a great example as well. Clayton, I like that comparison too, because it's the same offense that they were running at Ohio State, the power spread. How Curtis Samuel was utilized and where they lined him up all over the place. He actually finished that year over 800 yards receiving and rushing his final year at Ohio State. Yep. So that's a very good comparison as well. Yeah, that's a very, very, very good comparison.
Fans on Suicide Watch. Record talking about wanting to play like hers. Okay.
We have not talked enough about Keontae Ingram. We talked about him at the beginning of the chat.
Yeah.
But Keontae Ingram,
he's still pretty good, man.
Well, what I'm seeing from him, he's bigger. I think
he's finishing
runs. Because last year there was a few opportunities for him to have some breakaway runs, but he either couldn't finish with the speed. He also had he was still coming off the knee issues that he had, but he's such a smooth runner. I hope Joe Burrow doesn't make me eat my words, because I said last year he'd be the 8th best quarterback in the Big 12. But I mean, come on, if we can't hold down Joe Burrow, then we can forget. Like, then what are we talking about the Big 12 for?
A lot's going to be said about Week 1. We'll find out a lot about Week 1, because we're going to see a vanilla. We're not going to show our hands to give any film for them to read on us. So, like I said, it might be a 10-point win. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah. Ingram was a big contributor last year, and he was injured most of the year. We're not going to address the trolls on here. Tech. Let's talk about Tech. We had talked about them earlier, but Tech definitely. Now, I also want to talk about the fact that their fan base had a lot of fun in Lubbock after, burning some couches and flipping some cars after a win. You know, that's why you guys can't have nice things sometimes. You know,
enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yourselves. Have fun. I thought I saw any concerns about Iowa State this year. Yes, I don't like playing at Ames. and Campbell is a real good coach, and I think that Brock Purdy's gonna improve a lot this year. So, but I'm glad that they don't have
Hakeem Butler.
Yeah.
Yo, Lubbock. I gotta hit up my family members out there,
Texas
man.
does
They
not
might
lose,
not
man.
make it through the night. Either way.
DV.
Either way.
DV. Texas, I think, got shut out a couple of years ago in Ames, didn't they?
Yeah, 16-0,
Yeah.
16-0. That was they were led by Gerard Hurd in that game.
Exactly.
Oh, that was a very very painful game. We could not throw the ball to save our lives at that point.
They're not worried about Joe Burrow performing. No one believes in Joe Burrow. Texas being a 3-point dog to TCU. I mean, and you got to play the game regardless of anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
What's TCU had to cancel their spring game? Did you hear about that? Yeah, they had too many injuries.
They lost a lot of players. They lost their 2 defensive linemen that are really good, right?
Well, they've also just been getting destroyed right now in spring. So they Patterson just said no, thank you. We're not doing it. Yeah, Tom Herman against the spread, easy money. It's been that way for how many years now? All right. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was just the draft coming up in general. You know, with the quarterback situation, a lot of talk about Dwayne Haskins potentially falling. A guy that we faced in the bowl game, Drew Lock, a couple years ago, him potentially rising. And where does Kyler Murray end up if for whatever reason the Cardinals choose to go in another direction? Which I don't think they will. I think they'll pick Kyler Murray, but
I think they're gonna pick Kyler Murray and they're gonna get something back for Josh Rosen. But if he does fall, Miami.
I think Miami is going to be in the mix. Right now, they only have Fitzmagic.
I mean, are y'all going to do a mock draft? I mean, we can.
Yeah, we could. I think Cleveland's Cincinnati. Cincinnati's the team to watch.
For
Zach for a quarterback, potentially for Dwayne Haskins.
Okay.
With him already being hometown would be Redskins for him.
Redskins.
But for Haskins' sake, I think Cincinnati would actually be a pretty cool spot to go. Andy Dalton there, not necessarily expected to start right off the bat, but Zach Taylor being a quarterback guy might have a chip on his shoulder if he falls to 11 if Cincinnati doesn't decide to move up. It sounds like the Giants are just being stubborn right now, though. Because they're the team you look at, you're like, what the hell are you guys doing? You passed on Sam Darnold last year. You're now in the situation where allegedly Kyler Murray's too short for you. You're not that interested in Josh Rosen. You're not that interested in Dwayne Haskins. What do you want? You didn't let the kid you drafted, Kyle Lauletta, you didn't let him play at all last year. Y'all were so loyal to Eli Manning. Even though you were already going to lose, why not let that guy play a couple games?
A couple snaps.
Let him have a few weeks where he just gets the reps. So, Will Greer from West Virginia, another Big 12 foe, has been moving up. Joey S. said he thinks New England's going to trade for Josh Rosen. But then Preston said Drew Lock to New England. So Thomas Havern said, do you guys think the Cowboys should draft a quarterback for depth? I mean, we right now I would say with us signing, this is going to sound weird, but with us getting John Kitna in the building, I want to see how he works with Cooper Rush, Dak Prescott, and Mike White in the room. Honestly, we've been drafting quarterbacks the last few years. Now it's the time to develop these guys. Footwork, mechanics, seeing the field better,
reading
defenses, trying to throw with better anticipation, all those things. But when you look at if you don't have a guy like a John Kitna, that's when I'm like, you need to go get a veteran quarterback to be in the room with those guys. So similar to what Sam Darnold had last year with a Josh McCown being in the room. So you have to kind of look at it, that type of way. Drew Lock is the next Mahomes.
No, sorry, no.
I don't see that either.
How do y'all see Minahu doing at the next level? I think if he puts on the right type of weight and comes with the right mindset, he'll be very successful.
What scheme is he playing in?
What do you think? A 4-3 or a 3-4?
I think right now he's
a 4-3 guy.
I think instant impact. He's actually probably with his body. He's probably better suited for a 3-4 right now. But I think he can play 4-3.
I just like the 4-3 because there'll be a lot more one-on-ones with him at this level.
Sure.
So,
and he could be a technician.
Yeah.
But the thing with him is players like him, if he can just show versatility, like, hey, coach, on third and long, I can kick inside and blow up guards too,
Favorite Drew Lock highlight was him getting blown out by Texas.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I felt like we made Drew Lock tap out when we played him in the Texas Bowl. And I know that's a while ago. But like what did Drew Lock do to impress you against any elite competition?
The only game that he
got blown out by Bama. He got blown out like
Florida? Was it did
Florida? How did he do in the Florida game? I know that he didn't do much they moved the ball okay in the Georgia game. And it's
maybe
not like,
that was it.
Yeah, I think it was the Georgia game was like 40-29 or something like that. But he was like, there was never a moment where I'm like, wow. Like when you remember when you saw what I mean by that is like when you saw Deshaun Watson at Clemson against Alabama,
you knew he was going to be
right because you're like, wow, this guy, look how he's moving the football against elite talent, elite defenses. I never got that vibe from Drew Lock, and he played in a terrific scheme, in my opinion.
Mock controlled by Herman is a top 5 Herman moment.
Preston, I'm going to be straight up with you. I'm going to just tell you what I want with the Cowboys. And this is why I'm happy they did not re-sign Jason Garrett to
a long extension.
If this doesn't work, and the Kellen Moore thing is, to me, brilliant, because if he's another young savant, great. We found money. If he sucks, then all of them fired anyway. All of them. And then you go out and
hire who you want to hire.
But me personally, you go and you get Sean Payton. Tell him to come back. And if you have to work out something with New Orleans, or we may have to give up a draft pick or whatever. But you go out and get somebody like that if this doesn't work. So either way, I think we'll be in a position to where a decision will be made one way or another.
Topic. Do you think this year we'll actually have some speed on kick return?
Oh, that's a really good question. We haven't talked about that. Let's talk about special teams because I heard some stuff. So start with the kick return thing. I would have, because I haven't. We're not going to really know what's going to look like.
There's not going to be kickoffs on.
Until the season starts, because Deshaun Jameson, we didn't know he was going to be back there until the season started, right? So I think they're still probably going to utilize Jameson again on punt return. I think you'll see Brandon Jones will be punt return safe.
Yeah.
I think kick return is where, however Jake Smith looks coming on campus, I think that's a spot where you could see a Jake Smith. I think that's a spot where you could see a Jordan Whittington. Depending on my only hesitation with Jordan Whittington on special teams is that I think he's going to be playing so much running back.
Too much punishment.
Yeah, that they may want to say, hey, we're monitoring touches, but it's more situational. Because he's already in a spot right now where he's, and look, college football right now, guys, you look at even Josh Jacobs when he was coming out of Bama. they were splitting carries between 3 guys: Najee Harris, Damian Harris, and Josh Jacobs. So you need 2 or 3 running backs anyway. Same thing with what Clemson's doing with their backs.
Yeah, I think Rob Babers threw up a stat that he said the last 4 champions had 2 people rushed for over 1,000 yards.
Wow.
I think that was a stat that he threw up. So you need depth at running back, because that's how you control the game, and that's how Tom Herman wants to control this team too. Is that he wants to be a downhill team and control the clock, keep the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jake Smith, that's a spot where he could, right off the bat.
He is literally Percy Harvey and Tyreek Hill. I don't know about Tyreek Hill, but I definitely see the comparison to Percy Harvin.
I've compared him to Percy Harvin.
I can definitely see that.
I can see that comp as well.
What was the other special teams question that you had?
So I just wanted to address the kicking game. He said Cameron Dicker's been, he's been his normal lights out self.
Okay.
And he's developing, well for where he was as a freshman last year. Because I think the only thing was just getting used to the stage for Cameron Dicker. Other than that, mechanically, he's fine.
The mechanics. Yeah.
But Pachevsky, the punter, he said he was horrible the first week, and the last 2 weeks he's been outstanding.
Okay.
So sounds like we're still having the consistency stuff there, but hopefully we can get to a point with. I mean, if he can kick like he did in the bowl game.
Yeah, the bowl game, it was his best game of the year. And I could deal with that. Yeah, he doesn't have the power that his cousin has, but not very – I mean, he's the best kicker in the league. He's the best punter in the league. So, but if we can get what we had in the bowl game, I'll be happy with him, honestly.
I mean, he was nervous because his cousin was watching. He's got a – A&M has a tough schedule. I don't even know if they're going to go 8-4. They have a really tough schedule.
They go on the road for a lot.
They have to go to Clemson,
to Georgia.
They're finally playing Georgia.
To LSU.
They're finally playing Georgia.
Yeah, but
they
do have
we played Georgia before
Catholic high school.
Yeah.
Another non-conference game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have a lot of talent too, though. I mean, I like what's his Kellen Mond. I thought he grew up last year for them. I just think
there's going to be a lot on his shoulders now without the
Travion.
Yeah, a lot, and they lost a lot on their defense too. So, I mean,
they did lose a lot of guys to the league on defense,
and he lost his safety blanket in Sternberger too.
They're going to play. I mean, they had the best recruiting class out of Texas. They're going to play a lot of those guys right off the bat. So if I'm an A&M fan, this is more of a transition year, to be honest with you, because 2020 would be the year I would look at for A&M, because Kellen Mond then would be a senior, right? And
was Kellen Mond a senior? Or
no, I'm saying in 2020 he would be a senior. Okay. If I was A&M, that's the year I would look at for them. Yeah, we already played Georgia and smashed them. I totally agree. Yeah, guys, we're starting to wind down here.
70 million reasons why I am. Still burns me. Yeah.
Anything else you had any thoughts on or questions about going into Saturday? We might have to get up this week and do a video, just like a little preview.
Okay.
Like a sit down preview of
Vernon Broughton can be close to Leal in my opinion. Vernon Broughton looks like a stud. Him and Prince. If we got that, I'd be very happy with our defensive line future.
Prince is my guy.
Yeah. Are we gonna steal Dim?
I don't think so, because the other thing too, we have the Johnny Wilson guy. I think his name's Johnny Wilson from Cal, who's another big wide receiver that they really like.
video after the spring game? Sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I want to try to get some mobile gear to maybe
Do it at the game.
Yeah, do some stuff at the game, but we'll definitely have our normal post game coverage like we do every UT event for sure.
Texas man should play.
Hey, I've said that Cowboys Longhorns, but I mean that's too much. That's almost too much like the OU game. But I've said that. At
That's kind of far for both of them to fly.
Yeah,
to go to Dallas.
But what I've proposed is they open the season with each other.
Yeah. In what, like Houston or something like that?
You can play in Houston
or home and home.
Either or.
Yeah.
But there's too much money on the table for them for them both not to do it. Plus, like the ADs, it'd be a big win for the ADs if they got that back together.
San Antonio.
Yeah. But it's also big for recruiting in Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Put the spot. It might start closing down the borders again, where Alabama's not picking and choosing who they want. LSU's not picking and choosing who they want. Houston should be in the Big 12.
Live stream at the game, it would be cool. We might be able to do something probably on the phone walking out. If we do that, we could probably do that.
Aggie literally said they want 150 million.
And then do our like a full-blown reaction when we get back to the crib.
I thought reading that, I thought they were talking about from Texas to Texas pay them, but they're actually talking about the state of Texas. Yeah, that's true. Realistically, great.
No, Houston should not. Hey, Preston's having a night tonight with his comments. Man, they closed the door on Houston at the last second, man. They were almost in the Big 12 that one year.
The year that they took TCU?
They were talking about Houston and Cincinnati.
That's right.
But, that's how it goes.
Houston can low-key upset OU in week 1. I mean, they did it a couple of years ago. But they had Tom Herman.
Yeah.
Tom.
Jalen Hurts he's a winner though. I know he played at Bama and
he's gonna be pumped to play Houston. He's a Houston boy.
Mm-hmm.
So Notre Dame comes to the Big 12 if they need conference.
I don't see Notre Dame.
Notre Dame will never come here.
No.
I could see us going independent first before Notre Dame coming here, I think. And we're not going independent.
No.
He is nice.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up the chat. John, appreciate you letting me host. Guys, again, sorry for the late start, but we finally got as usual, we always get the technical things sorted out. But
it wasn't our fault though. It was YouTube.
yeah.
Blame YouTube.
Yeah, no, YouTube. They changed. For those of you who are content creators, they changed some of the tools in here. So wasn't aware of that, but now now we're up to speed. But if we go to after the game, we can definitely stream from our phones and stuff like that, right? So I'm definitely down for that. And we'll have our normal post-game content. It'll be a lot to talk about. We're going to be breaking it down all the way to the walk-ons at the game. And we'll also try to confirm at least a vicinity of where we'll be in.
Well, I think it's open seating.
It's open seating, but in terms of like when we go in and hey, we'll be down toward, because I like to walk around, to be honest with you, during spring games and stuff. So, hey, Preston, thank you for the donation, man. Really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. It was a great chat tonight, man. That is, it's a blessing to be able to do this and to converse with you guys, with our favorite teams and covering all these things. So, we're going to 5,000 strong, guys.
Yes, sir.
We're going to 5,000 strong. It may not seem like a lot on YouTube, but it's a lot for us. You know, something we just enjoy doing, discussing, talking about, breaking down, sharing our opinions, learning from each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I lean on you guys as much as, you know, y'all lean on me in terms of just, you know, chatting it up. So really appreciate it. Really excited to see everybody on Saturday. So appreciate y'all.
Take it easy, guys. Thanks for everything.
All right, hook 'em. Trying to end it.
Oh, someone else.